My beloved child, stop for a moment. Not tomorrow. Not after one more scroll. Right now. If you are hearing this, it is not by accident. This is not random. This is not just another video passing through your screen. Something unseen arranged this moment with care, like a letter placed exactly where your eyes would land. You may have skipped many messages before this one. You may have ignored gentle nudges, quiet thoughts, sudden pauses in your day. But this time, you stopped. And that matters more than you realize. There are moments in life when time feels ordinary, and then there are moments when time leans forward and whispers, "Listen." This is one of those moments. You are not late. You are not early. You are exactly on time. As we say, Sab kuch apni waqt par hota hai, everything happens at its appointed hour. You might be feeling tired of searching for meaning. Tired of being strong for everyone else. Tired of explaining yourself to people who only half listen. Somewhere deep inside, you have been asking a question you rarely say out loud: does anyone truly see me? That question did not go unheard. There is a reason this message feels different. It is not loud. It does not chase you. It simply waits, with patience. The kind of patience that only love has. You have been protected more times than you can count. Delays that felt like rejection were actually shields. Closed doors were not punishments, they were redirections. At the time, it hurt. Later, it made sense. And some things will make sense very soon. Right now, something unexpected is preparing to unfold. Not dramatic in noise, but deep in impact. The kind of shift that changes how you see yourself. The kind that brings clarity where confusion lived for too long. You may not feel ready, but readiness is not required. Willingness is. You have been carrying emotions quietly, smiling when needed, staying silent when misunderstood, telling yourself, it's okay, even when it wasn't. Strength became your habit, but rest became rare. Yet even in your silence, you were heard. Even in your waiting, you were guided. There is love around you that you have not fully recognized yet. Not always in the form you expected. Not always from the people you hoped for. Sometimes love shows up as protection. Sometimes as distance. Sometimes as a sudden thought that saves you from making the wrong choice. Love is not absent from your life. It has been working behind the scenes, like a careful hand arranging pieces you cannot yet see. You may think you missed your moment. You did not. You may think others are ahead of you. They are on a different path. Comparison only steals peace. Your journey is custom made. No copy. No replacement. No delay. What is meant for you knows your address. This message reached you because your heart is still open, even if it feels bruised. Because you still hope, even when disappointment tried to teach you otherwise. Because you are stronger than you believe, and gentler than you give yourself credit for. There is dignity in the way you have survived quietly. Take a slow breath. Let it settle. You do not need to fix everything today. You do not need to have all the answers. All that is asked of you right now is presence. To stay, to listen, to allow your heart to soften instead of harden. In the coming moments, truths will surface. Not to overwhelm you, but to free you. You will begin to recognize patterns that were guiding you all along. You will see why certain connections faded and why others stayed. Nothing was wasted. Not a single tear. Not a single prayer whispered in exhaustion. This is not a warning. It is an invitation. An invitation to trust again. To believe that your life is not overlooked. That your name is known. That your story is still being written, and the next chapter carries light you have been waiting for. Stay with this message. Let it speak to the parts of you that are tired of pretending. Something gentle, something real, something meaningful is reaching for you right now. And this time, you did not skip. There is something important you need to understand right now, and it may surprise you. The love you have been searching for has not been missing. It has been moving quietly, patiently, closer than you think. Not every form of love announces itself. Some love hides so it can protect you without being noticed. You may feel unseen, but you are not unknown. You may feel unheard, but your quiet thoughts have weight. There are moments when you wondered why people walked away without explanation, why certain bonds faded even when you tried your best. What felt like abandonment was often alignment. What felt like loss was sometimes mercy. This is difficult to accept, but necessary. Not everyone who enters your life is meant to stay. Some people are lessons. Some are mirrors. Some are temporary shelters. When they leave, they are not taking love away from you. They are making space for a deeper kind of love that does not confuse, exhaust, or diminish you. Right now, love is surrounding you in ways you may not recognize. It shows up as restraint when you were about to make a harmful decision. It shows up as delay when you were pushing forward too fast. It shows up as peace after disappointment, even when you expected bitterness. These are not coincidences. These are signs of care. There are people who think of you more than they say. There are hearts connected to yours through sincerity, not noise. You may not receive constant messages or dramatic gestures, but genuine love does not perform. It protects. It respects. It waits. You have been questioning your worth because someone else failed to recognize it. That was never a fair exchange. Your value does not decrease because someone lacked the ability to see it. Your presence carries meaning whether it is celebrated or not. Listen carefully now. This may be the most important realization today. The love meant for you will not ask you to shrink. It will not require you to explain your pain repeatedly. It will not make you feel anxious about where you stand. When love is real, it feels steady, not heavy. It feels calm, not confusing. Some of you have been holding on to memories, hoping they will change shape. You replay conversations. You wonder what you could have done differently. You imagine alternative endings. But the truth is this: if something was meant to grow with you, it would not have required you to betray yourself to keep it alive. This is where healing begins. Not by forcing yourself to forget, but by understanding. Understanding that rejection did not come to break you. It came to redirect you. Understanding that being alone for a season is not punishment. It is preparation. There is a quiet rebuilding happening inside you right now. Confidence you thought was gone is returning slowly. Trust you thought was broken is repairing itself piece by piece. You may not feel strong yet, but you are becoming clear. And clarity is powerful. What is coming into your life next will require this version of you. Not the one that begged to be chosen. Not the one that tolerated less. But the one that knows when to stay, and when to walk away with grace. This message reached you because something is shifting. You are about to recognize love in places you once overlooked. In small gestures. In sincere conversations. In people who show up consistently, not occasionally. In moments of peace that feel unfamiliar because chaos was once your normal. Do not dismiss these changes. Do not downplay them. Pay attention. Your heart is learning a new language. A language of calm, trust, and self-respect. And remember this as you continue listening: you are not behind. You are not forgotten. You are not waiting for love to arrive. Love has been walking with you, protecting you, shaping you, and preparing you for what comes next. Stay with this message. The next part will reveal why everything you experienced had purpose, and why what is approaching now will feel different, deeper, and undeniably real. There is something you need to understand now, and it may surprise you. The moments when you felt ignored were not proof that you were unloved. They were moments of preparation. The silence you experienced was not abandonment. It was alignment. You were being positioned quietly, carefully, away from noise, away from confusion, away from people who could not meet you where you were meant to go. You see, real love does not always announce itself loudly. Sometimes it works silently, removing what would have harmed you later. There were conversations you never had, and that was mercy. There were plans that never worked, and that was protection. There were people who walked away without explanation, and that was grace disguised as loss. Right now, you are closer to clarity than you think. Many people believe love must always feel intense, dramatic, overwhelming. But the truest love often feels calm. It feels safe. It feels steady. It does not rush you. It does not confuse you. It does not require you to shrink yourself to be accepted. And if you have not felt that kind of love yet, it does not mean it does not exist for you. It means it is being prepared properly. You were never meant to beg for attention. You were never meant to chase validation. The reason you felt exhausted doing so is because it was not your role. What is meant for you moves toward you without force, without pressure, without fear. There is unseen love around you right now. Not imagined, not wishful thinking. Real support, real care, real concern. Some of it you recognize, some of it you do not yet see clearly. Sometimes love is a person who prays for you quietly. Sometimes it is a delay that saves you from a mistake. Sometimes it is a sudden strength that appears on days you thought you could not go on. You have been guided through instincts you could not explain. Thoughts that told you to pause. Feelings that told you to wait. Those were not accidents. They were guidance. And you listened more than you realize. If you have ever wondered why your heart feels deeper than others, it is because you were designed to understand love beyond surface level. You feel things fully. You care sincerely. You notice details others miss. That sensitivity is not weakness. It is discernment. There is a reason shallow connections never satisfied you. There is a reason temporary attention left you feeling empty. You were created for something real, something meaningful, something that does not disappear when circumstances change. What is unfolding in your life now is not random timing. It is precise. Even the waiting had purpose. Especially the waiting. Because it taught you self-respect. It taught you patience. It taught you to listen inwardly instead of chasing outward noise. Very soon, you will look back and realize that what you thought was delay was actually careful preparation. You were being kept from settling for less than you deserve. You were being refined, not rejected. Let this truth settle into your heart. You are not invisible. You are not forgotten. You are not behind. You are in process. And what is meant for you, love, clarity, peace, has already been set in motion. Listen carefully to this moment. Because moments like this do not repeat easily. There are seasons when life feels quiet, not because nothing is happening, but because something important is being arranged. You may have mistaken silence for absence. You may have thought nothing was changing. But behind what you can see, movement has already begun. There is a truth many people discover too late. The greatest shifts often arrive disguised as ordinary days. No announcement, no warning, just a subtle change in how you feel, how you think. Stay here. Not because you are afraid to leave, but because something inside you knows this moment matters. There is a quiet truth unfolding right now, and it may surprise you. The love you have been searching for has not been missing. It has been moving differently than you expected. You were looking for noise, but it came as calm. You were expecting proof, but it arrived as protection. You wanted certainty, but you were given timing. Think carefully about this. How many times were you saved from situations that looked good at first, but would have cost you peace later? How many times did something fall apart, only for you to realize much later that it had to? That was not luck. That was care. You may feel lonely at times, even surrounded by people. That feeling does not mean you are unloved. It means your soul desires depth, not surface connections. You are not meant for shallow bonds. You are wired for meaning. That is why ordinary explanations never fully satisfy you. There is a reason your heart reacts strongly to certain words, certain moments, certain silences. You sense things before they happen. You feel shifts before others notice them. This sensitivity is not weakness. It is awareness. And awareness always comes with responsibility. Here is the revelation most people never hear. Love does not always arrive to comfort you. Sometimes it arrives to correct you. Sometimes it removes what you begged to keep. Sometimes it delays what you are desperate to receive. But it always works in your favor, even when it feels uncomfortable. You were not ignored. You were prepared. Every season of waiting has been shaping you into someone who can handle what is coming next. If things had arrived earlier, they would have broken you. If certain people had stayed, they would have limited you. What feels like loss was actually alignment. Right now, a shift is happening within you. You are starting to see yourself differently. Not as someone who is lacking, but as someone who is becoming. This change is subtle, but powerful. It changes how you choose, how you trust, how you love. You no longer need to chase validation. You no longer need to explain your worth. What is meant for you will recognize you without effort. You do not have to force doors that were never designed for your future. There is also something else you need to hear clearly. You are protected even when you do not feel strong. You are guided even when you feel unsure. You are loved even when you doubt yourself. Nothing about your life has been random. The reason this message feels personal is because it is. It speaks to a moment you are living right now. A turning point. A quiet decision inside you to stop settling, stop shrinking, stop questioning your value. Do not rush this realization. Let it settle deeply. Let it rearrange how you see your past and your future. You are not behind. You are being positioned. Stay with this message. Something important is aligning for you, and your awareness of it is the first step. There is a moment in every life when silence becomes louder than noise. This is that moment. Not because something is wrong, but because something important is aligning. You may have felt a strange pause lately, as if the world slowed down just enough for you to notice your own heartbeat. That pause is not emptiness. It is preparation. You have spent so much time asking why certain people walked away, why promises faded, why love sometimes felt close and then distant again. What you did not see was how carefully you were being protected. Some connections were removed not because you were unworthy, but because you were too valuable to be damaged further. Loss was not the ending. It was the rescue. Right now, something is shifting quietly. Not in a way that demands attention, but in a way that changes direction. You may feel it as restlessness, or as a sudden clarity that comes and goes, or as a deep knowing you cannot explain. This is not imagination. This is awareness awakening. There are people who crossed your path only to teach you your worth by showing you what happens when it is not honored. There are experiences you survived that rewired your strength. You did not break. You adapted. And adaptation is a sign of intelligence, not weakness. You may have been waiting for a sign that says, you are chosen. You are loved. You are not forgotten. That sign is not coming later. It is happening now. The fact that this message is reaching you at this exact moment is not coincidence. It is timing that cannot be repeated. You are not meant to chase love by shrinking yourself. You are not meant to beg for understanding. Real love does not confuse you, test your value, or make you doubt your existence. Real love recognizes you without explanation. And that kind of love is closer than you think. There is a truth that has been hidden from you, not to hurt you, but to protect you until you were ready. You are stronger now, more aware, more grounded. What once would have overwhelmed you will now empower you. That is why certain answers are arriving only now. You may have noticed that your tolerance for what drains you has changed. Things you once accepted now feel heavy. Conversations that once entertained you now feel empty. This is not arrogance. This is growth. You are outgrowing spaces that cannot hold who you are becoming. Something unexpected is approaching your life, and it will not look like chaos. It will feel like relief. It will feel like clarity. It will feel like being understood without having to explain your pain. When it arrives, you will realize why everything else had to fall apart first. You were never meant to walk this journey unseen. Even in moments when no one checked on you, you were being watched over. Even when you felt forgotten, you were being prepared. Delays were not denials. They were alignments. Do not rush this moment. Let it sink in. Let the truth settle where doubt once lived. You are not behind. You are not lacking. You are not invisible. You are in transition, and transitions are sacred. As this message continues, more will be revealed. Not all at once, but exactly when your heart can carry it. Stay present. Stay open. Something meaningful is unfolding, and it is unfolding with you at the center of it. Something is shifting right now, even if you cannot fully explain it. You may feel it as a quiet restlessness, a gentle pressure on your thoughts, or a sudden pause in your heart. This is not confusion. This is alignment beginning to happen. Moments like this do not announce themselves loudly. They arrive softly, asking for attention, not fear. You have spent a long time questioning your value, measuring yourself through silence, through delayed responses, through doors that did not open when you knocked. But listen closely now. Your worth was never defined by what you did not receive. It was defined by what you carried through without becoming bitter. There is strength in that, and there is recognition coming for it. There are people who crossed your path only to teach you what you should no longer accept. There were connections that faded not because you failed, but because you outgrew what could no longer hold you. At the time, it felt like loss. In truth, it was preparation. You were being cleared, not punished. Right now, love is approaching you in a form you did not predict. Not loud, not dramatic. Steady, honest, safe. The kind of love that does not confuse you or make you question your place. The kind that feels calm instead of chaotic. You may have mistaken peace for boredom before, but this time you will recognize it for what it is: home. There is also healing happening in places you stopped checking because they hurt too much. Old wounds are loosening their grip. Old memories are losing their power. You are not erasing your past. You are finally standing taller than it. And when that happens, life responds differently. Pay attention to the timing of things now. The unexpected message. The sudden clarity. The opportunity that feels almost too precise to be coincidence. These are not accidents. They are confirmations. You are being guided step by step, even when you think you are standing still. You are not invisible. You were never forgotten. You were protected during seasons when you did not understand why things were slow. Now the pace is changing. What once felt delayed is beginning to move. What once felt heavy is starting to lift, and what once felt impossible is quietly becoming reachable. Hold on to this truth: you are deeply loved, even in moments when you feel alone. That love has been patient with your doubts, gentle with your fears, and faithful through every silent night you thought no one noticed. You are stepping into a chapter where love feels clearer, purpose feels steadier, and your heart finally gets to rest without fear. Stay present. Stay open. Something meaningful is unfolding, and you are right where you need to be. Stay here. This is not the moment to drift away. There are moments when silence carries more meaning than noise, and this is one of them. What you are feeling right now is not coincidence. It is recognition. Something inside you is responding because truth always knows where to land. You have spent a long time believing that you were easy to forget, that if you disappeared for a while, no one would notice, that your presence mattered less than the noise around you. But here is the truth that changes everything. You were never ignored. You were protected. There is a difference, and it changes how you see your entire past. Some connections were removed not because you were unworthy, but because you were too valuable to be mishandled. Some doors stayed closed because what was behind them would have cost you your peace. You did not lose as much as you think. In many ways, you were spared. Right now, something is aligning quietly, not loudly, not dramatically, but deeply. The kind of alignment that does not announce itself, yet changes everything once it settles. You may feel restless for no clear reason. You may feel emotional without knowing why. That is not weakness. That is preparation. There is unseen love working in your favor. Love that does not demand attention. Love that does not confuse you. Love that protects you even when you are unaware. It shows up as strength when you feel you have none left. It shows up as clarity when your thoughts feel scattered. It shows up as peace that makes no sense given what you have been through. You are not behind in life. You are being timed carefully. Every delay shaped your character. Every waiting season strengthened your discernment. You now notice things you once ignored. You now feel things more deeply. That sensitivity is not a flaw. It is a gift. Think about this carefully. If everything you wanted earlier had happened exactly when you asked for it, would you have been ready to hold it without breaking? Some blessings require maturity. Some answers require patience. Some love requires healing first. There is a reason you are still standing. A reason your heart did not harden completely. A reason hope still visits you, even when disappointment tried to move in permanently. You were not meant to shut down. You were meant to grow through this. What is coming next will feel sudden, but it has been prepared for a long time. You will look back and realize that this very moment was part of the setup. The moment you stayed instead of skipping. The moment you listened instead of rushing. The moment you allowed yourself to feel instead of distracting yourself. You are deeply known. Even the parts you hide. Even the thoughts you never say aloud. Especially those. And there is no rejection attached to that knowing, only care. Let this sink in slowly. You are not forgotten. You are not alone. You are not overlooked. You are being guided with intention, protected with patience, and surrounded by love that does not fade when things get quiet. Remain here. The next moments carry clarity you have been waiting for. Listen carefully now. This part is not for everyone. It is for the one who stayed when others would have left. If you are still here, it means something inside you refused to turn away. That alone says more about you than you realize. There are people who scroll past moments that could change them forever. You did not. And that choice is already shifting something. You may not see it yet, but there has been protection over your life that you never asked for and never noticed. Situations that could have broken you completely were softened at the last second. Words that could have destroyed your confidence were never spoken. Paths that looked attractive but carried hidden pain were quietly blocked. You thought it was luck. It was not. There were nights when you felt completely alone, when silence felt heavier than noise. You wondered why help did not arrive faster. You questioned whether your patience was being wasted. But what you did not see was how carefully your steps were being guided. Some delays were saving you from meeting the wrong version of yourself. Right now, a wake-up moment is happening within you. Not loud, not dramatic, but deep. You are beginning to understand that love is not always dramatic gestures or constant attention. Sometimes love is restraint. Sometimes love is correction. Sometimes love is the strength to say no when everything in you wants to say yes. You have been protected from people who smiled at you but did not wish you well, from conversations that would have planted doubt, from decisions made in emotion that would have cost you peace. Even when you felt confused, you were never abandoned. You were being preserved. There is a reason your heart feels different lately. You are more aware, less reactive, slower to trust words, quicker to trust actions. This is not hardness. This is wisdom forming quietly. You are not becoming distant. You are becoming clear. Something unexpected is approaching, but not in the way fear imagines. It is approaching with alignment, with truth, with a sense of, this finally makes sense. You will soon understand why certain people exited without explanation, why some connections faded without closure. Not everything is meant to be repaired. Some things are meant to release you. You are not behind in life. You are not missing out. You are being prepared. What is coming next requires maturity of heart, not speed. And you have been growing in ways that cannot be measured by time. There is guidance around you right now, subtle but steady. Pay attention to the calm decisions, the choices that bring peace instead of excitement, the moments where something tells you to wait one more day, say one less word, take one deeper breath. That guidance has been with you longer than you know. You do not need to chase what is meant for you. What is meant for you is already moving toward you. Your role is not force. Your role is trust. Trust does not mean you never feel afraid. It means you move forward even when you do. Let this part settle in you. Not as pressure, not as urgency, but as reassurance. You are watched over. You are guided. You are deeply valued, even when the world feels indifferent. Stay present. Stay open. This message reached you for a reason, and the reason is still unfolding. There is a moment when silence becomes louder than noise. This is that moment. You have reached a point in your life where distractions no longer satisfy you. Things that once excited you now feel empty. Conversations feel shallow. Smiles feel forced. And late at night, when everything slows down, a quiet question rises inside you. Is there more than this? That question is not weakness. It is awakening. Many people think love only arrives through another person, but the deepest love often arrives through understanding, through realization, through the sudden awareness that you were never abandoned, only prepared. What felt like distance was actually protection. What felt like loneliness was actually separation from what could have broken you. You did not lose people because you were not enough. You lost them because you were becoming too real, too aware, too aligned with a higher purpose. Some connections cannot survive growth. Some bonds break not because of hate, but because of timing. And that is not failure. That is design. There is unseen love surrounding you right now. Not loud, not dramatic, but steady, patient, watching every step you take. You have been stopped from certain decisions at the last moment. Saved from saying yes when it would have cost you peace. Redirected when you thought you knew better. These were not coincidences. These were interventions. You may feel misunderstood by people closest to you. You may feel like no one truly sees your heart. But being unseen by people does not mean being unseen by God. In fact, sometimes being hidden is a form of safety. A season where you are shaped, not displayed. Strengthened, not celebrated. Right now, something is aligning quietly. You cannot force it. You cannot rush it. But you can trust it. There is clarity forming where confusion lived. There is peace replacing restlessness. There is healing happening even if you cannot feel it yet. You were never meant to beg for love. You were meant to recognize it. Love that does not humiliate you. Love that does not confuse you. Love that does not require you to shrink. The moment you stop chasing validation, you begin attracting alignment. Your worth does not decrease because someone failed to value you. Your value was established long before opinions touched it. You are not late. You are not behind. You are being positioned. And here is the truth that changes everything. The delays you resented are the reason you are still standing. If things had moved faster, you would have been hurt deeper. If doors had opened earlier, you would have entered unprepared. Timing was not working against you. It was working for you. This is why this message reached you now. Not earlier. Not later. Now. Because you are finally ready to understand that love is not something you earn by suffering. Purpose is not something you discover by losing yourself. And peace is not found by pleasing everyone else. Something unexpected is approaching your life. Not chaos. Not fear. But recognition. Recognition of your strength. Recognition of your journey. Recognition of the fact that you survived what should have broken you. And you did it quietly. Stay present. Stay open. Stay here. Because what comes next will not just comfort you. It will confirm everything you hoped was true. There is something important you need to understand right now, and it may change the way you see everything that has happened in your life until this moment. You were never forgotten. You were never overlooked. You were never pushed aside. There were times when silence surrounded you, when answers did not come, when people walked away without explanation. In those moments, you may have believed you were alone, but what you could not see was the quiet work happening beyond your sight. Some things were delayed not to deny you, but to prepare you. You have been walking through lessons that strengthened your heart without announcing themselves. Every disappointment shaped your discernment. Every unanswered question sharpened your awareness. You did not lose time. You gained wisdom. Right now, there is a shift happening within you. You may feel it as restlessness, as curiosity, as a sense that something is about to make sense. That feeling is not imagination. It is alignment. You are beginning to see love differently, not as something you must chase or prove yourself for, but as something that recognizes you naturally. Real love does not confuse you. It does not drain you. It does not make you feel small. It brings calm, clarity, and quiet strength. Think about the moments when you were protected from situations that looked promising but felt heavy. Think about the people who left and the peace that slowly followed. That was not loss. That was guidance. You were guided away from places where your spirit would have shrunk. You were guided toward growth, even when it felt uncomfortable. Some chapters ended abruptly because they were never meant to define you. There is a truth many people never realize. Love often arrives disguised as patience. It waits until you are ready to receive it without fear. It waits until you stop settling for fragments and start expecting wholeness. You are more valuable than you think. Not because of what you do for others, but because of who you are when no one is watching. Your kindness, your endurance, your ability to keep going even when hope felt thin, these things matter. If you have been questioning your worth, hear this clearly. Your worth was never negotiable. It was never dependent on approval. It was never reduced by rejection. You did not become less because someone failed to recognize you. There is a purpose unfolding that does not rush you. A plan that does not pressure you. A direction that fits you so naturally that when it fully arrives, you will recognize it by the peace it brings. Stay present. Stay open. Stay grounded in the truth that you are held, guided, and deeply known. What is coming next will not require you to force anything. It will flow. You are not behind. You are not late. You are right where you need to be. And as you continue listening, more clarity will rise. More understanding will settle in your heart. The unseen love around you will become visible, not all at once, but in ways that feel undeniable. This is not the end of your story. This is a turning point. There is a moment when the heart understands something before the mind catches up. You may be in that moment right now. A quiet realization is forming, one that does not shout, but settles deeply. It is the understanding that you were never forgotten, never overlooked, never left to figure life out alone. You have walked through seasons where silence felt heavy, where you gave more than you received, where you wondered why love seemed complicated when you tried so hard to be genuine. Yet even then, something invisible was arranging protection around you. Not everything that left your life was a loss. Some things left because they could not go where you are going next. There is a truth many people never hear clearly. Love does not always come as affection first. Sometimes it comes as clarity. Sometimes it comes as separation from what drains you. Sometimes it arrives as a deep inner knowing that says, "You deserve better than this." That knowing did not come from nowhere. It was placed inside you for a reason. You may have questioned your worth when others failed to show up. You may have blamed yourself for things that were never your fault. But the absence of appreciation does not reduce value. A diamond in the dark is still a diamond. Your value never depended on who noticed you. It was established long before anyone had an opinion. Something important is happening beneath the surface of your life right now. Even if today looks ordinary, something meaningful is aligning quietly. Conversations you have not had yet. Opportunities you have not seen yet. People who will recognize your heart without you having to prove anything. These things do not rush. They arrive at the right time. You were protected from paths that looked good but would have cost you peace. You were slowed down not to frustrate you, but to save you. When you look back later, you will realize that timing was never against you. It was guarding you. There is also a healing taking place inside you. You may not notice it day by day, but you are not reacting the way you used to. You are not breaking the way you once did. You are learning to pause, to breathe, to choose yourself without guilt. That is growth. Quiet, powerful growth. If you have felt unseen, hear this clearly. You are seen. If you have felt unloved, know this. Love has been near you, even when you doubted it. It has been shaping your resilience, strengthening your discernment, teaching you to recognize what is real. There is no mistake in your sensitivity. There is no weakness in your compassion. The world may teach you to harden, but your strength comes from staying true. You were not created to blend in with noise. You were created to bring depth. Soon, something will confirm what your heart has been sensing. A moment that makes you pause and think, so this is why. It may come through a person, a message, or a sudden sense of peace that feels unfamiliar but right. When it happens, do not rush past it. Let it land. You are allowed to expect good things without fear. You are allowed to hope again. You are allowed to believe that love can be safe, that purpose can be gentle, that your life can feel aligned instead of forced. Stay present. Stay open. What is unfolding is not random. It is intentional. And it is moving closer, even now. Stay here. Do not rush past this moment. There is something important happening right now, and it is happening quietly. You may not realize it yet, but this exact phase of your life is not ordinary. It feels slow, confusing, and sometimes empty, but it is sacred. This is the space where transformation happens before it becomes visible. Nothing meaningful changes loudly at first. Real change begins in silence. You have been wondering why certain things are taking so long. Why answers are delayed. Why clarity feels just out of reach. What you do not see is that timing is being protected. If everything had arrived earlier, it would have crushed you. If it arrived later, you would have lost hope. This moment, right now, is precise. There is a kind of love that does not shout. It does not demand attention. It waits. It watches. It covers you when you are unaware. That love has been surrounding you, especially during moments when you felt completely alone. You thought you were being ignored. You were actually being guarded. Think about this carefully. Some things did not work out, even though you tried your best. Some people left, even though you gave them sincerity. Some doors closed suddenly, without explanation. At the time, it felt unfair. Now understand this: those moments were not losses. They were corrections. You were being redirected away from what could not sustain your future. There are people who would have drained you slowly. Paths that looked promising but ended in regret. Choices that felt urgent but would have cost you peace. You were spared from them, even when you did not ask to be spared. That is not coincidence. That is care. Right now, something unseen is aligning in your favor. Not because you are perfect, but because you kept going even when you were tired. Because you chose kindness when bitterness was easier. Because you did not give up on life, even when life tested you. You may feel invisible to the world, but you are not unseen where it matters most. There is a purpose unfolding that requires the version of you that exists today, not the version you were years ago, and not the version you are becoming tomorrow. This version, with your scars, with your wisdom, with your quiet strength. You are not behind. You are being prepared. And preparation often feels like waiting. If you have felt an emotional heaviness lately, it is because something old is being released. Old beliefs, old fears, old attachments that no longer fit who you are growing into. This release can feel uncomfortable, but it is necessary. You cannot carry everything forward. Some things must stay behind so your hands are free. Listen closely to this truth. You are not difficult to love. You are not too much. You are not forgotten. You have simply outgrown environments that could not hold your depth. Soon, clarity will replace confusion. Peace will replace restlessness. And when things finally shift, you will look back at this moment and understand why you had to pass through it slowly. Do not doubt your worth during the waiting. Do not question your value because the outcome is not visible yet. What is coming needs you whole, not rushed. Strong, not broken. Aware, not distracted. Stay present. Stay open. You are closer than you think. There is something you must understand right now, and it may change how you see everything you have lived through. Some of the moments that confused you the most were not accidents. They were not mistakes. They were carefully timed pauses. When things slowed down, when answers did not come, when people disappeared without explanation, it was not because you were forgotten. It was because something was being rearranged quietly for your protection. You have felt lonely even in rooms full of people. You have smiled while your heart asked questions you never voiced. You wondered why love felt distant when you tried so hard to give it. What you did not see was this: you were being preserved, not rejected. You were being prepared, not ignored. There are connections that were removed because they would have drained you. There were paths that closed because they would have delayed you. You thought you were losing something valuable, but what you were actually losing was something that could not go where you are going next. This is the part few people ever realize. Sometimes love does not rush in loudly. Sometimes it waits until you are finally strong enough to receive it without losing yourself. You were learning boundaries. You were learning self-respect. You were learning that love does not demand you to shrink. Right now, there is unseen movement around your life. Conversations you do not hear. Decisions you did not make. Shifts you did not force. And yet, they are aligning toward you. This is why certain memories keep returning to your mind. This is why your heart feels alert, like something is about to change. You are not imagining it. There is a moment coming where clarity will replace confusion. You will look back and realize why patience was required, why silence was necessary, why waiting shaped you in ways rushing never could. The delay was not denial. It was timing. You may feel tired of being strong. That is understandable. Strength was never meant to be a permanent burden. It was meant to carry you to a safer place. And you are closer now than you think. Listen carefully to this truth. You are deeply valued, even when you feel overlooked. You are guided, even when the path feels unclear. You are supported, even when you stand alone. Love has been surrounding you in subtle forms, through protection, through redirection, through inner strength that showed up exactly when you needed it. There is nothing wrong with you for wanting reassurance. There is nothing weak about longing to be understood. These desires exist because you were created for connection, not isolation. And connection is not missing from your life. It is approaching in a form that will not hurt you. Stay present. Stay open. Stay gentle with yourself. What is unfolding now will not take away your peace. It will restore it. You did not arrive here by habit. You arrived here because something inside you refused to give up. There is a quiet truth that most people never realize. The moments you felt forgotten were actually moments of deep preparation. While you were waiting, something was aligning. While you were questioning, something was being protected. What felt like silence was not absence. It was careful timing. You have carried love in your heart even when it was not returned the way you hoped. You stayed kind in rooms where kindness was rare. You stayed honest in situations where honesty cost you comfort. That was not weakness. That was strength refined by patience. Right now, something is shifting. Not loudly, not dramatically, but unmistakably. The kind of shift that makes you look back one day and say, that was the moment everything quietly changed. This message is part of that moment. You may have wondered why certain people drifted away without explanation. Why connections that felt important suddenly faded. Why doors closed just when you were ready to walk through them. Those were not losses. They were releases. Space was being made for something more aligned with who you are becoming. There is love surrounding you that does not demand performance. Love that does not ask you to shrink or pretend. Love that meets you where you are, not where others expect you to be. This love has been steady, even when your emotions were not. It has been present, even when your confidence wavered. You are not behind in life. You are not late to your purpose. You are not forgotten. What is unfolding now required the version of you that only patience could build. Every delay shaped your discernment. Every disappointment strengthened your understanding. You are wiser because of what you endured quietly. There is a reason your heart still feels deeply. It is because you were never meant to live numb. Sensitivity is not a flaw, it is awareness. It allows you to recognize truth when it arrives and peace when it settles in your spirit. And peace is approaching you now, gently, without force. You do not need to chase what is meant for you. What is truly meant for you moves toward you naturally. It recognizes you. It aligns with your values. It arrives without confusion. When it comes, you will not feel anxious, you will feel calm. Let this moment remind you that you are held, even when life feels uncertain. That your story matters, even when no one is applauding. That unseen support has been guiding you through choices you did not even realize were protecting you. Stay present. Stay open. Something meaningful is unfolding, not because you demanded it, but because you endured with grace. And that kind of strength never goes unnoticed. There is a moment when the noise fades and truth speaks softly. This is that moment. You may not have planned to stay this long, yet here you are. That is not coincidence. Time is narrowing for a reason, not to frighten you, but to focus you. When something matters, it calls for attention, not panic. Right now, attention is all that is needed. You have wondered why certain answers arrived late, why clarity came after pain, why understanding waited until the heart felt tired. What you did not see then is becoming visible now. Delays were shaping you, not denying you. What felt like silence was actually preparation. Some gifts require depth before they can be received. There is unseen care surrounding your life. Not loud, not dramatic, but constant. In moments you almost gave up, something held you steady. In decisions that could have gone wrong, you were redirected. Even when you doubted your worth, value was never removed from you. You are not measured by how others treated you. You are defined by something far greater. Think about the love you searched for in people, the approval you waited for, the reassurance you hoped would arrive from someone else. It felt necessary then. But now you are being shown something deeper. Love was not missing. It was teaching you how to stand without leaning too hard on anyone else. It was teaching you to see yourself clearly. Right now, there is a shift happening inside you. A quiet realization. You are not broken. You are becoming. Every disappointment refined your vision. Every misunderstanding strengthened your discernment. You no longer need to chase what is meant to stay. What belongs in your life will recognize you without struggle. This is why this message matters. You are being reminded of who you are before the world told you otherwise. You are being guided back to trust. Not blind trust, but calm confidence. The kind that allows you to breathe again. The kind that tells you it is safe to hope without fear. Something unexpected is aligning. Not because you forced it, but because you stayed true through confusion. You kept going even when answers were unclear. That persistence was noticed. What is unfolding now will not require you to beg, explain, or shrink yourself. It will meet you where you are. You may feel emotion rising as you listen. That is release. Old weight leaving. Old doubts loosening their grip. This is not about fixing the past. It is about understanding it. Once you understand, you are free to move forward without carrying unnecessary burden. Notice how calm can exist even in uncertainty. Notice how peace can appear before proof. That is guidance at work. Not rushing you, not pressuring you, just gently leading you into clarity. You are not alone in this process. You never were. The next steps in your life will feel different. Not rushed, not forced, more aligned, more honest. You will recognize opportunities that resonate instead of exhaust. You will sense when something is right without needing validation. This is growth. This is awakening. Stay present. Stay open. The message you needed is reaching you now because you are ready to receive it. Not earlier. Not later. Now. And as this part comes to a close, carry this with you. You are deeply seen, carefully guided, and profoundly valued. What comes next is not meant to hurt you. It is meant to reveal you.